So what do you got here?
I have a flintlock gun and a saber from the Ottoman Empire days.
Okay.
Which I got quite a long time ago.
Couldn't have been that long ago. You're in your early 30s, right?
Oh, I love you. I definitely love you. Thank you. I'm coming into the pawn shop to try and sell a saber and a flintlock gun from the Ottoman Empire. Because I've had them for a long time, and I'm hoping they're worth money. Lots of money.
How did you get these?
We were working in Turkey as musicians, and they belonged to my drummer. Later we got married, and when he passed away, they became mine.
Okay. Do you know anything about the dagger or the flintlock?
I know that they're from probably 1700 or something like that.
Okay. The dagger, it looks to be that old, but it's just in really bad shape. And with flintlock pistols, the thing that concerns me is this right here, the push rod.
Yeah.
That's what they pack down all the powder with. It just looks like this is decorative and it's not functional. If it's decorative, it's not worth near as much because it wouldn't be an actual functioning gun. So do you mind if I call in a friend? He'll check them out. He'll tell us what they're worth?
No, I would appreciate that. At least I would know, what they're worth.
Okay.
I got questions about the gun, and the dagger is in really rough shape. I can't make an offer unless I have someone check them out.
I'm an expert in antique arms and armor, and I just absolutely love the connection that you can make with things that were made so long ago to the present. What are your concerns?
This one, I want to know if it's reproduction, because I was looking at this push rod right there, and it almost looks decorative.
Rick, you're absolutely correct. This is purely for decoration. This is a typical flintlock holster pistol. This one is kind of your entry level. This would be the everyman's flintlock pistol. And if you can imagine in that region, the soldiers or even common people doing trading, they would have a pair of these in holsters, but they weren't on horses, they were on camels. And if you were to draw a normal flintlock pistol, sometimes that ramrod would catch on the holster and you'd lose it.
Okay.
So they would have a separate ramrod that maybe even wore around their neck to load these things. So now here's the big question. Does this form of pistol fit the criteria of being a pistol made in the Ottoman Empire? Yes, it is,
Okay.
Absolutely. And this would date anywhere from about 1790 to about 1820. So that's the pistol. Now, the dagger. It's called a Kinzhal.
Kinzhal.
And this is definitely of the Ottoman Empire. But unlike the flintlock pistol, this in its day was a higher level and quality, in that time period. This was gleaming. This is a gold wash over hand chiseled and formed silver, and it's really fragile. The condition of the blade, it's definitely seen use. It's got even contact marks here on the edge from coming in contact with another blade. So somebody fought with this.
The fact that this was used in battle is so cool. Just think about it. A soldier from the Ottoman Empire fought with this.
So what are they worth?
Okay, I'll start with the Kinzhal first. If it were in better condition, I could see this in auction bringing, $1,200 to maybe even $2,000. But in its present condition, anywhere from maybe $400 to $600.
And what about the pistol?
With this flintlock, what it has going for it is the condition. And you would think a flintlock like this would be rare, but it's really not. This is probably the most common form of flintlock pistol that you're going to find in the realm of antique arms and armor. But because the condition is so nice, there's still value there. Realistically, you're going to see something like this at a retail level of maybe $375 to $575.
Okay. Thanks for coming in, Sean.
I'm really happy Sean was able to verify and explain everything. Now I just hope we can make a deal.
So how much did you want for him?
Well, I have to go home and think about it because I really don't know.
Did you have an idea what you were expecting?
No idea. I just thought they were more valuable.
Well, I understand you not wanting to sell them. If you change your mind, come on down and we'll make a deal.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to go home and think it over. I just hope she decides to sell them and brings them back to me.
Hey, can I help you? Hey, how you doing, sir?
Pretty good.
All right, all right.
What do you got here?
Man, I got a couple swords, 3 swords and a katana. Trying to get rid of them. I just can't put them on the mantle no more. They just laying around.
Yeah, I don't know if you have a wife or a girlfriend, but I'm sure she doesn't want to look at this up on the mantle all
Absolutely,
day.
absolutely. I'm at the pawn shop because I want to sell these samurai swords I have today. I had them for 20 years. You know, they kind of raggedy a little bit, but the blades are really sharp. They collecting dust.
Where'd you get them?
It was my ex-father-in-law. He said he was over in Japan. He picked them up, and he gave them to me as a gift. So I'm thinking they might be worth something now.
Right after World War II, the United States, they were helping to rebuild Japan. And during that time period, they confiscated a lot of stuff like this. And then they would put these tags on them in hopes that they would be returned later. But instead of returning them, a lot of soldiers decided, you know what? I would like to take this home as a keepsake. These could have been in someone's family for, 100+ years. It's hard to tell because usually the mark will be underneath the handle. That's not something that I'm qualified to do, is take the handle off and look at the mark, because I wouldn't want to ruin this,
Right.
A good thing I do see is it seems to be the right sheath,
Mm-hmm.
It butts up right against there nice and it fits really snug.
Gotcha.
A lot of times what you'll see is these will become so old that the sheath will break down completely and someone will find just a makeshift sheath to put the blade in, and it won't fit like that. As you can see, it's cracked all the way down. It's peeling, and the same with this one. Even though they're in really bad condition, it is cool to have the original sheath, What are you looking to do with them?
Well, I'm about to enter a barbecue competition. Entry fee is kind of high, and then I need to buy my product.
Well, I'll let you barbecue at my house for free anytime.
Anytime.
I'm thinking Rick might want me to call in an expert before possibly buying these swords, but this man has a barbecue competition to get to. I ain't one to stand between a man and his grill. And like a samurai, I must act swiftly before this guy walks out the door.
How about 6,000?
I don't doubt that they're worth close to that value. Samurai swords are highly collectible, but my problem is I gotta resell them and I gotta make a little profit too. If you wanna sell them today, right now, I can do 34.
4,000. Out the door.
Let's split the difference. I'll go 37.
38.50.
I'd hate to see him walk for $150. I think I'll take a chance with these. I can do the 38.50. Hopefully my boss doesn't cut my head off.
I hope not with these swords. 38.50. I'm gonna buy some briskets, pork, and some ribs and some chicken, and I'm gonna slice up this competition.
Earlier, Chum spent $4,000 on 3 samurai swords because he thinks he's a samurai expert. So I'm calling in Mike, who actually does know something about samurai swords, and I'm gonna find out how much money I lost.
Hey, just the man I'm waiting to see. Why don't you shed some light on these for old Ricky over here?
Rick, you don't look very happy.
Yeah, apparently I don't need you anymore because Chum knows everything there is to know about swords now.
Well, I told you to call me if you ever needed some help.
It was basically make a deal on these swords and get them now or don't get them. The guy was in a hurry. He had to get off to a barbecue.
So, can you tell me about these things? Or should I ask you?
Want me to look?
Yeah, check them out.
I'm gonna take the handle off so we can see if it's signed or not.
Okay.
Yeah, this one is very tight, so it obviously hasn't been off for a long, long time, which is a good sign. And it has a signature. So generally, when you're looking at swords to buy, you always want to check the tang to see if it's signed, to see if anybody famous made the sword. This title with this type of file marks belongs to a swordsmith known as Naganobu.
It's good news so far.
It is good news because he's actually well known and he's very famous. Okay, so the blade is in good condition. There's no flaws. It has one small nick. So this is actually a very decent sword.
So is it considered a sword being that short, or is it a knife?
Generally, it's called a dagger. It's
Okay.
Kotanto. It qualifies as a dagger, but it's still a sword in a sense. So we'll move on to the next piece.
Kind of excited to see what you have to say about this one.
So believe it or not, the entire sword is held together by this one bamboo pig all through battle.
I remember you had taught me that last time you came here. Let's see if there's any markings on this one.
Well, you're lucky on this one, too. It's actually signed. So it's full signature here, and the sword is got some good age to it.
Well, how old is that one?
This sword dates from the late early 1500s. So-
Stretch a little bit. Oh, I've been making some good moves.
May I?
Please. What a beauty.
Well, the pin's missing, so. That's the traditional way of removing the handle from the hilt. Oh, signed.
Another signature?
This sword is signed Soshuju Akihiro. He's one of the most famous makers of Japanese sword history. You know, people spend years and years and years looking for the holy grail of Japanese swords, worth up to $3 or $4 million.
I like where this is going, Rick.
Unfortunately, the signature appears to be a forgery.
So when was it forged? Like maybe 100 years ago, 200 years ago?
No, the sword is actually old. It's just that it was so popular to have such a famous name given to lords and other lords that they actually made forgeries on other blades that were available from the same time period. So this blade is actually old. It is from like the early 1400s.
What are they worth?
Well, as a package, you're looking at about $13,000 for all three.
I'm not going to congratulate you. It doesn't take skill to win in a slot machine.
If you ever need my help, I'm there for you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I was talking to him, not you.
Chum actually got lucky and he did well. It's a roll of the dice when you're buying swords. Finding 3 older blades is very rare. Finding 3 older blades that are signed is extremely lucky.
I just made you $9 grand. You can pay me with a free lunch today.
Will you put these away?
You really want me touching them? They're worth $13,000.
What do we got? I'm a custom knife maker and a purveyor, too. Had a real interesting piece walk in the other day. This is a Endorsed Mattie Silks dagger for ladies of the night, made by Will and Fick in the Gold Rush era.
I have heard about Mattie Silks. She ran probably the most famous brothels in Denver. I mean, she's pretty much a Denver legend. Could you imagine if a company had their product endorsed by a prostitute today?
Well, Heidi Fleiss sold pajamas for a while. She had Heidi wear.
Yeah, how's she doing now?
Mattie Silks was pretty much a household name at the time. She even had her own fashion line. A lot of women went out west to become school teachers. She went out west and became a madam, a very successful one at that. I'm asking $600 for it. I think that's a fair price. Some prominent madam here in Vegas would love to own it.
Mattie Silk was a real interesting, Denver Old West legend. You had a brothel owner who pretty much got an endorsement deal. Today, athletes endorse shoes. Back then, madams endorsed knives. This is one of those great items that just shows how tough life was in the Old West. I mean, Mattie Silks actually got into a duel with a competing madam over a man that they were both seeing. Pretty crazy.
What's really cool about this is that the knife slides real nice into the boot sheath. This would have slid down into their boot underneath their petticoat, or they would have had a strap on their leg to hold it.
Absolutely. I mean, this knife was used for protection. This was used for a lady to keep on her in case she ran into a problem. What do you want for it?
Well, considering the condition, I would like $600 for it.
Realistically, I think I could probably get $600 out of it, which means I'll give you like $350 for it, man. It's a knife that has to have a story told with it, and if that person doesn't know who Mattie Silk is, they ain't buying it.
But the person that does will buy it, and she's still well known among circles here. Make it $400 and you got a deal.
All right, man, that's cool enough to pay $400 for.
Thank you.
All right, if you want to meet me over there, I've got to do some paperwork, and I'll bring this with me.
Okay.
Thank you, my man. I'll see you over there.
Thank you. I will not be spending this $400 on a brothel. I'll be spending this $400 on my wife having fun here in beautiful Las Vegas.
What do we got here?
You've got my sword collection, Roman, that is.
Okay, where did you get them?
Through my father, from his father.
Okay, because you don't look old enough to get these when they were new, so.
No, I did not. I'm looking to sell my Roman Gladius sword. I also have 2 Pugio daggers. These are all from the Roman era, some earlier, some later. The overall condition is very good. It looks good, they're great display pieces, and these items are quite sentimental to me, and now I just keep them in a case, and it's not the right thing to do. So, as being a history buff, I would like it to be on display, and I would like somebody to enjoy it.
This is cool. 2,000 years ago, the Romans basically had the best armies because, well, first off, they were professional. When you joined the Roman army, you had to sign up for 25 years.
Absolutely.
Okay? And you're actually promised a pension at the end of that. But your life expectancy at 18 was like 35. So very few people ever got their pension. And at one point, I think they had close to 1 million troops. So they ruled the world. Okay, so this is a Gladius, okay? Basically the perfect sword for the type of warfare they had. They figured out this was the perfect length, the perfect thickness, everything about it. The Romans, they had their really large shields, and a big long sword wouldn't work because, you know, part of their fighting stance was to go over the shield like that. And if you're a highly trained army with shields like that, long swords don't work. This right here looks like a Pugio. That would be a small knife that people would carry around. It was illegal to carry one of these in Rome. And the amazing thing is, I mean, the blade looks like it could be made out of steel. If it's real, it's a really nice one. And this right here, I have no idea. It's an odd size, odd shape. The lines down it right here don't look like they serve a purpose. They might be decorative. That I have no idea.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now the big question, how much you want for them?
With the Pugio, I'm looking for 7,000 on this. I was looking for 3,000 on the sword, and I was looking at 2,000 on the, we're not sure what it is.
Okay, so I'm gonna call my guy who can tell us if they're real. He can X-ray them, he can do
Fantastic.
everything on the spot. So, you don't mind hanging out?
No, not at all.
All right, I'll be right back.
Fantastic.
I can picture Chum fiddling as Rome burns.
What do we have today?
Gladius, Pugio, something.
Thing?
I have no idea if they're real because I know there's 1,000 fakes for every real one.
Close to that, absolutely. Even though they made 1 million of these, there were a lot of fakes. So, yeah, we've got 3 different varieties. Of course, the Gladius. I mean, that is the go-to weapon of the Roman military. Everyone had one. This is a Republic-era Pugio, so 1st century BC. This is the late-era Pugio. So this started about 2nd century AD to about 4th century. So this replaced this.
Do you think they're real?
We can find out. I'm gonna test this one first. So this is an XRF. It shoots a little beam of X-ray, tells me the metal composition. So as we see, we've got 98% iron, which it should be. The next number is magnesium. That shouldn't be there.
Strike one.
Strike one. Shall we try the Gladius? Okay, so now we're at 98.2% iron, and our magnesium is down to 0.5%. I'd like to see it a little bit lower than that, but with everything else that I'm seeing on this, I think this one's fine.
Okay, fantastic.
And
This
Pugio.
guy, yeah. Wow. Chromium, bad.
Ah,
Magnesium, bad.
bad.
Yeah, just too many strange trace elements.
So these 2 are fakes. What is the Gladius worth?
I'd retail this at about 4,000.
Okay.
So not a bad number.
Okay.
Beautiful piece.
You're the best. Thanks, man.
Okay, Rick, take care.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, so no on the Pugios.
Okay.
The Gladius. You're asking $3,000 for it. I'm thinking like more like 1,800.
You have to realize it's my only one that was real. I'm stuck with,
Rarely does someone walk in the shop and say, hey, do you have a Gladius?
I get it. I get it.
What's your best price?
25.
21?
Why don't you do 2250? Call it a day.
Let's just call it 2,200 even.
All right, you win.
All right, sweet. I'll meet you right over there. We'll do some paperwork. I'll get you paid.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I'm so Gladius I bought this.
Oh, what do we got here?
I got a couple of Scottish blades here. They were handed down from me from my dad, which was handed down to him from his father. So basically my grandfather.
Okay.
My grandfather was overseas around World War II, and he had bought these over there, so they do mean a lot to me. So I believe with both of them, I'd be able to get at least 4,000 out of it.
So do you know anything about these?
Yes, I've done some research on these online, and found this one's called the Dirk, and this is the Dagger.
Okay.
And they're around the 18th century.
So what would you like to do with these?
Well, I'd like to sell them.
Do you know how much you want for them?
With the set, 4,000.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. First off, I can tell you right off, this is a reproduction.
Really?
Yeah. This is not silver. This is really poorly sandcasted all along here.
How can you tell it's not silver?
Because it looks nothing like silver. Look at this. This is silver. Silver is the most reflective metal there is. You can see the difference in color in them. When silver oxidizes, it turns black. This one's already turning green.
Right.
Okay. This is photo etching along here. It's not done by hand or anything like that. Photo etching is a chemical process. They put a photo negative above the blade. They put some chemicals on the blade. They blast some light on it. The acid reacts with the light and zap, it's there. And it's not as detailed and it doesn't look as good. My guess is your grandpa didn't get this in Scotland. He probably picked this up a lot later, maybe the 70s or the 80s.
I wouldn't think my grandfather would pick up something that wasn't authentic.
Well, this one I'm confident is not worth anything.
That really sucks.
I can see the guy's pretty disappointed. One of the toughest parts of my job is telling people that their prized family possession is fake. This, on the other hand, looks real. I really like this. I mean, I love the handle. That's a lot of work right there. It's definitely silver. Someone went to the trouble of putting a topaz on the bottom of it, but it looks like it's a modern cut stone. It's got some hallmarks on the back of it. And the hallmarks are going to tell us where it's made, who it's made by, what year it's made. The problem is I don't know what they all mean. So I'd like to call on an expert, have him check it out.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. I would hate to walk out of here knowing that both of my knives are fake. So I'm hoping at least the Dagger will be authentic.
My name's Jeff. I'm an expert in knives and militaria. If you could just imagine the journey that these items have been on, what they may have been used for, who may have carried it, it's just absolutely amazing to me. So what are your concerns about it?
There's a few things. I can't read the hallmarks on the back. I don't know what they mean. And he was saying he thinks it's 200 years old, and this is a modern cut stone on the top of it.
And looking at this dagger, I can tell that this is a proper form of a Scottish dagger. The bent shape at the end of the handle here was actually intentional. They would slip this into their sock, this would protrude. It was allowing them to easily grab the dagger.
Oh, okay.
The handle is carved ebony. They used dark woods and carved their design. Again, this is the outwardly facing design, smooth on the backside where it would be against the skin. The stone at the end of the handle here, this is called a cairngorn. It's very common for these stones to fall out and be replaced. Does that affect the value? No. You'll also see that this is mounted in silver, and silversmiths always hallmarked their work. The hallmarks will tell us the rest of the story.
All right, cool.
I can tell by the markings that this was made in Scotland, has the Scottish thistle mark on it. There's also a Birmingham mark. The lowercase a tells us that this was 1900.
Okay. So what do you think something like this is worth?
These will go anywhere from $800 to $1,200.
Okay. Now that Jeff has confirmed this dagger is 100% real, I definitely want it. The only question is, how much do I have to pay for it? So what do you want for it?
Well, I'm thinking probably around $800.
That's not gonna happen.
What do you, maybe 6.
I give you like 400 bucks for it.
That's just too low. Could you do any more than that?
I'll go 500 bucks.
$500? That would be the best you could do?
Yeah, not a penny more.
Not a penny more. Okay, well, I think we'll do that.
Okay. Hey, $500. Let's go do some paperwork.
I'm okay with that $500. I was hoping for a little bit more, but it's still a lot of money.